All right, we're live on YouTube. Okay, awesome. And we're back. So sorry, everybody, for the delay and interruption. Just had a couple of technical difficulties, as to be expected in anything dealing with technology. So, again, I'm Bob G. Lamont Brathwaite, and today we have Crystal Solis in here, coming to you live from Texas. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Awesome sauce.
It's
And
a world
apparently
of
you're
its own.
going for, yeah, you're going for the Cowboys. That's
Yeah. I wish.
I
You
don't
know,
follow
I
football like that. Did they get knocked out early on?
that don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm
Don't.
just asking.
No.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Let's not.
Well, I love it that you still pull for your team, but I have to be honest. Um, I'm a Giants fan, and Giants fans and Dallas fans, we have an ongoing thing for like the last, I don't know, 500 years. Seems like. Um, I can't really be mad at the Cowboys this year. I'm more mad that I think our running back just they let our running back walk and he went to the Eagles and now he's doing his thing. And I'm very mad about that because he's
Yeah,
in the
we have
Super
a
Bowl.
lot of upset sports fans in Dallas right now with not just the Cowboys, but with the Mavericks. So it's just,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh my
yeah, it's
God.
just
Don't get me
not,
started.
yeah, it's just not something that we want to talk about today.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Right?
think I think it might be time for you to relocate because Dallas is
Right?
no more.
Well, Crystal, thank you so very much for joining us this Saturday. We really appreciate you having taking the time to come and hang out with us for a little bit, even if it's just for a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's
So
fine.
let's dive right into it. Like what's your whole spiel about? Like, what makes you you? What we know that you are located in Dallas, Texas. But what's your entrepreneurial journey like? What do you have going on for you right now?
So I've always been a firm believer that you make your life what you want it to be, right? There's some things that are in your control and there's some that are not, but you choose the life you want. So with that being said, I chose this chaotic, crazy life with kids and businesses that I'm running. So this year it's more of how do we balance life as being a mom, a wife, a daughter, a sister, and a businesswoman, right? So I want to take this time this year to learn that balance because it doesn't stop. Being a parent doesn't stop. Being a business owner does not stop. On top of that, I run emergency kind of. I'm a general contractor, so we have emergency services that we have to attend to at all times. So it's kind of like you can't put yourself in the back burner. You have to stay on top of everything, your customers, your health, even. As you get older, you got to pay attention to your health. You got to pay attention. You got to like balance your time everywhere you are, and if not, you kind of lose everything. So like even this Saturday, there's a lot going on all the time. But if you don't make time to do certain things, then you don't really have a life. You're just working, working, working,
Yeah.
and then you don't get to enjoy any of it.
So let's go
So
back a little bit to the general contracting side. How did that business start for you? Like, was it something that you walked into? Is it a family thing? Like, how did that all happen?
so back, I don't know if you guys remember back in the recession time in 2007.
Yeah, yeah, of
Uh,
course.
that's when we were like, well, we gotta do something that we can have control over. Push and get jobs and stuff. At that time, people were not buying houses; they were more renovating, remodeling, and doing what they
Yeah.
could. And that's when our business kicked off. So since then, it's grown, and we've added different services too. Like what I'm saying about the emergency services, we're able to go into a house that's fully flooded and we'll get it all taken care of. Back then it was more remodeling, painting, flooring type of thing, but now it's pretty much everything. We've just added so many services that we're a one-stop shop.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's
Mhm.
really cool that you're able to cater, to a vast majority of people when you have and expand into like different services like that. So like
Yeah,
phenomenal
it's
Yeah.
job right there.
thanks.
So
It's a lot
what's
of work, but it's a lot of working with other people. I saw a lot of general contractors have a bad name for not responding to customers, for leaving jobs, So I wanted to kind of change that feel for customers
Mhm.
to not, at that time too, a lot of contractors were taking people for money, and I didn't want them to have that experience. So I wanted to come in differently.
I know exactly what you're talking about. We just had a story. I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but like I watch the news like religiously. I got to stay in tune. But we had a story not too long ago about this company that their primary thing was like impact windows. We're located here in Miami, Florida, so hurricanes. It's like a Tuesday. Um, but the people who contracted this company to come and do all of their windows, they they had the customers take out a loan, like $47,000, whatever. The customers
For
immediately signed that
Windows.
over. Impact windows, yeah, high impact
Yeah,
windows.
yeah.
So basically, you can watch a hurricane from the comfort of your home with your windows open and everything. It's no big deal. But they signed that money over to the company, and don't get me wrong, the customers did their due diligence, right? They researched them. They saw they had great Google ratings, like 4.7 stars, and everything looked awesome and legit. And when they signed that money over to the company, you know 8 months 8 months is how long it took for them to arrive to the house to start the work.
Mm-mm.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah. And then
Yeah.
after that, they basically got evicted from their house because they're doing all these windows and stuff, and everything's tarped over and whatever, and they got kicked out of their house. They got kicked out of their house. At the end of it all, the job was poorly done. Like, you could just push the window over and it'll fall out. It was just a horrible, horrible thing. So I'm really happy that you're in the space, and you're changing up the name and the reputation behind it all, because I know that there's people out there. My wife and I practically live on HGTV, and we love seeing everything that happens there. I would love to
And
get like,
on that, it's not like TV. It's nothing like TV. I sometimes I love those shows because it shows you all these ideas, but our job is not like what it is on TV. It's a lot more to it than what 30 minutes shows. There's a lot going
yeah.
on behind the scenes, but
Oh no, we lost audio.
She got an incoming call, and I think it's on silent, so she can't hear it.
And she can't hear us either.
Not until
Yeah.
the
We
phone
have to wait
stops
for
ringing.
your phone call to kind of pass by, I guess.
That's emergency services for you. They calling you right now. Yeah, she got to
Yeah, but
answer
it's
that.
cool though. It's cool though.
Yeah,
It's
I
cool
mean,
because like
she's
when you have
on call.
emergency
She's at
services, yeah, exactly.
yeah, yeah. So
You are
at a
on call
moment's
100%
notice,
of the time.
you know what, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a knock on her. At least she answers. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
emergency services are there for a reason. I mean, it is Saturday after all. So anything here in Germany after 5 o'clock Friday is considered an emergency for the rest of the weekend.
yeah, yeah.
So
You're basically on your own.
yeah, yeah. So I admire that she has that
I lost.
tenacity to at least answer those emergency calls. And maybe it was an emergency, maybe it was not. But
Hello.
just think about it. You're
Yeah, yeah,
like
we can
on
hear you.
call. You're just think about it. You might be on call for like 24 hours a day, and then that brings me into the balance of it all. It's hard to balance because it's hard to plan. Whether you have kids or not, it's a lot of things involved, and especially when you have that type of service or that type of business. I've been a contractor too, but I've been a contractor for the army. I can't say that we ever we have been on emergency services like that, but I've been in Afghan and we did our 12-hour shifts, 12 hours on, 12 hours off, blah, blah, blah. But it was never an emergency. But I know in those 12 hours, we had a lot of work to do. We didn't really have anything from work life balance to, stuff like that. But I know you do. Is there a routine that you stick to or anything that you can pass by to other contractors out there to, you know, you have to live your life some kind of way. Is it even possible?
My biggest advice, like the most important advice that I have to any contractors that are starting or even that have been doing it for years, is get help. You can't do it all. It's
Yeah.
absolutely impossible to do it all. Without a good team, it's never going to grow. It's never going to go smoothly. And even still with them, it doesn't always go smoothly, but you at least have help, because
Right.
if you're trying to delegate the jobs, invoice, estimate, go out, do the quality checks, you're never gonna catch up. It's just, it becomes too much, and that's a problem a lot of contractors have too. That they're out there doing it all, and they're telling their clients that they can do this, they can do this job, and then they can't because they're only one person. Or,
Yeah.
if they have two guys on the jobs, they still have to go around looking at other jobs. And for us, in order for us to grow, it took adding people and saying, you know what, you can't do it all, get help.
Yeah.
Getting
Very
And
help.
true.
that's
Yeah,
that's that's
but you're welcoming in like a whole onslaught of variables at the same time, and that's it's for any business owner who's looking to scale, because you have to deal with like new personalities, new
yeah.
capabilities, and whether or not they're going to be able to handle doing whatever you assign to them. That's got to be a tough nugget altogether.
Yeah, and now that I'm a mother, I feel like I used to, before all this, I used to be a nanny, and I was in college and I was going to high school doing nanny jobs, right? I was a babysitter, and I got to see the dynamics of different families. And one thing that stuck to me is, if I ever became a mom, regardless of what I was doing in my career, they watch everything that we do. So
Yeah.
coming home with frustrations because of some job has nothing to do with the kids. You can't do that. And I've caught myself coming home frustrated, and then I have to stop myself. Wait, they're watching everything that I do. The way you talk to them.
Yeah.
Um, we may not have the perfect routine, but I try to stick to one so that they have some normalness, because my life is not normal. Theirs has
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, yeah.
That's wildly understandable because I have kids under my belt as well. Kids under my belt. I got so many of them. Let me start.
Yeah.
But having kids is a different kind of priority, and we always try to teach them how to be or how to grow up, and like you said, they watch everything you do. And while I'm sitting here at the computer now, I have no kids around or anything like that. But if they was to see me, they was like, "Daddy, you work too much.
Yeah.
You're always doing something. You always
Yep.
doing this." But I don't want them to grow up into the world thinking that they have to do exactly what I'm doing. But it's evident that they pick up on it. So, like my little one, my 9-year old, she will get up and although it's playing games and stuff like that, she would take her hands and put stuff together. She's into the Lego thing. She's into, the builder thing like that. And I'm used to doing that too because I have a mechanic background. So I'm used to putting things together. And everything that I've done, she's like mimicking this. So um my hats off to you because you have to, you know, be in a role model position, but you don't want to put too much on their plate because they take it as well. Um,
Yes.
I know it's very hard to, you know, I want to say split the field down the middle and say, I'm a contractor for 12 hours, I'm a mother for the other 12 hours. In your case, it's not possible.
No, it doesn't stop.
Um,
But when they get to the age where I can explain it to them, I feel like if they
mhm,
do tell me, "Mom, you're always working," I feel like telling them, "Okay, I am always working, but in between, I'm able to drop everything and go cater to you." Like my son,
right.
he's still little, he's not in school yet. So if he wants to go to the playground, I gotta take a car and go outside, play with him in the playground, and then come back inside. And other people won't be able to do that if they're at a 9 to 5. So you may see me
True.
working late hours, but I'm still available to
Right.
you. If he starts doing sports, or my daughter, if they want to do sports, I'm gonna be there. You know,
That's
I
awesome.
So technically, you still do have some freedom to do what you want to do when you can, and that's a big difference from somebody having a 9 to 5 because
Mhm.
there's a lot of people that's saying, okay, I want to do something else, but I don't know how to actually get into it or balance that kind of lifestyle because all I know is 9 to 5, you know,
Right.
and people choose this line of work either because it's freedom, maybe on the back end, but not in the early goings because there's a lot involved. What can you give to a beginner or somebody who has a thought that say, okay, I want to become a contractor or I want to become an entrepreneur? What can you give them as a little, I want to say, piece of advice
For
in the
any
early goings?
entrepreneur, anybody in any field that they choose, it's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen in a year. It's not gonna happen in 2 years. They say it's about 5 years before you start seeing a return or progress. It's not overnight. And a lot of times people start and they don't see something right away and they get frustrated or impatient. And
Yeah,
Bob, that was my post about the other day. Like, it's just not something that happens very fast. You have to have the patience. And the minute you give up and try something else, it's going to keep, if you keep that, it's not going to grow. It's going to keep happening for you because you're not having the patience
right.
to make it grow. You got to try different things. When we started our company, there wasn't social media. There wasn't a, oh, let me just put a post and let everybody see what I do. No, that was, you had to build the business and word of mouth, and you had to put yourself out there a lot more than what it is now. At a click of a button,
Hmm.
you're able to show a lot of people what you do. It wasn't like that. So for any person that's new, have the patience. Have the patience and look at, if something's not working for you, try something else. Don't give up. Do not give up. The minute you give up, you're gonna set yourself up for failure again and again
Right.
and
And
again because
I was on your Facebook. What's the title of your company again?
it's SHS.
SHS,
Mhm,
right? And you guys have
mhm.
like some really beautiful work. Like it looks
Thanks.
immaculate. What you have there, especially with like with the backsplashes and stuff. It's really like, so I'm asking, in the Dallas area, do you guys go outside of that area to meet with clients or anything of that nature?
We do. Texas is very big. DFW itself has a lot going on. There's a lot of contractors, there's a lot of houses, renos, new construction. There's a lot going on here. The reason why we've been able to branch out to different cities in Texas is because of a lot of our clients already that we have here in this area, they have properties in different areas too. But I 100% would like to stick to my area because then I can go and look at it and the quality stays the same. When you start branching out and you're having crew members everywhere else and your eyes aren't there, it's different. So
Very true.
I prefer, if I had it my way, I prefer everything locally. And locally meaning, we can drive out 50 miles. 30 is average, but we can drive out 50 miles. A lot of houses are being renovated in Oklahoma, which Oklahoma is only 2 hours away.
Yeah.
So I don't mind taking borderline things like that. But um, if you're not overlooking your work and your team and your quality isn't there, then your customers and your presentation isn't the same.
Yeah,
It
then your clientele just runs amok after that. It's
Yes,
it's pretty much you can grow wildly with word of
yes.
mouth, but it relates back to the work you've already done. Because I can refer a lot of people, but if your work is not up to par or subpar or like the instance Bob gave, you surely to run out of business in a short period of time, and like you said, when you started back then, there was no social media. I mean,
Mm-mm.
social media is pretty big now, but do you use social media to that aspect to garner more clients,
I
or is
do.
it just
I
strictly
do.
by word of mouth?
It's a lot of word of mouth right now, but a lot of before social media, even your own friends and family, they don't know exactly what all you do, right? They
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
okay, they know you're a contractor, but that means a lot of things. What do you normally, what do you do? What is your trades? What do you
Right.
do? And social media helps them see, oh, they do this, this, and that. Okay, so then
Hmm.
if that situation pops up, then they remember it. Oh, that she has a company that does that too. When before there was no such thing. People assumed, oh, they know
Right.
how to paint a house, they know how to change flooring, but there's a lot more to it
Right.
than just that. So yeah, social
Understood.
media has
Understood.
definitely helped.
So how
Well,
long, like how many
go ahead.
years have you guys been in business for now?
Too long?
No,
No, it's
not too
been
long. Since is it 2007 till today?
yeah, it's 18, it's going on 18 years, but I will say this,
Oh,
it's what's taught me so many things. I have experienced so much with this business that I think if I've ever told a new person, they would scream, run, and not do it, right? But I've experienced it, and it's what's made me learn more. Like there's been times where you get burned by customers. Yeah, contractors have a bad name for certain things, but a lot of customers do too. And
Oh
on that
yeah.
aspect, they will take, and then when it comes time to
hmm.
pay, they make it so hard. And that's happened quite a bit too. And if I sat here and added the thousands that I've lost and whatnot, like I'm gonna become depressed. So for me to do that, it doesn't make sense. You have to keep going, and you have to assume that not everybody's gonna be like that, and your business is gonna grow. So I've also learned with social media that you have to kind of weed out the drama, because social media has a lot of
Oh
unnecessary
yeah.
drama that you don't need. You have to kind of have the positive mindsets around you too, because it's real easy to fall into that negative, you know,
Yeah, you
negative
can get
Mindset,
thoughts.
so to
Not
speak.
not just,
Yep.
yeah, not just about business, but also about life. You don't want to
Yeah.
surround yourself with that.
let me
So
ask you,
And
like, Lamont is a metrics specialist. What is it that you guys are using to kind of like keep yourselves accountable and hold yourselves accountable, like as far as projections go, or supplies that are required? Do you have something in place, like a system in place to kind of like gauge all of that and see what you're gonna do next?
we have a person in our team that we've added. It took us, what, it's been like 5 years. He overlooks all that. He kind of sees, okay, are you profiting on that? What's not good? Where do we need to shop? What do we need to change? Because the economy has changed a lot. After
yeah.
COVID, oh my goodness, after COVID, I can't tell you the materials, not only the pricing, but the actual quality of materials
Hmm.
drastically changed. So yeah, he overlooks all those little details for us. There was no way I could overlook all that, dealing with everything that I was dealing with,
Yeah.
on a regular. Yeah.
Because
So
that's
it,
one of the
it's
things. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
I'm
I would
sorry.
say it's one of those things that you grow, right? You have to tell yourself you need the help, right? So that was somebody that we implemented as well.
And that's one of the things I try to teach, often because it's not a lot of people that teach that as far as business aspect. Because sometimes you need to know, okay, what's working, what's not, what can I do better, what can I do less of, and some of the things that you've been in business for 18 years, you can tell yourself from day one to now what's working, what's not. And if it's not working, you don't hold on to things, too much. If it's going to bring you back, maybe we should drop this part and maybe we can add something else. Or maybe we can drop two or three parts and just maybe do without it for a little while just to see if it boosts sales and stuff like that. So the metrics I keep telling everybody is very important to the business aspect as far as growth. Um, and I'm glad you got somebody in your corner to do that because if not, you'll be just like spending money, but you can't
Yep,
really significantly see the growth,
exactly.
if you don't know what's needed and what's not needed. So I
Right. And
applaud
then
you on that because a lot of businesses need that.
there's a lot of things that change with time. The trends change, so you
Hmm.
got to keep up with that.
Oh
You
yeah.
also, the way I look at it is I have to look at what's in the best interest for my customer. So I'm not going to just sell you this one great big job and then you're never going to call me again, because I need to make sure that you're going to come to me for every little thing, not just big things. You're going to
Right.
come to me for the small
Yeah.
things too. And
Right.
I've even talked to some contractors that They won't mess with you or take a phone call unless your project's more than $1 million.
Oh
And
wow.
I'm just different. I don't have that approach. My approach is you need assistance in your house, I'm gonna help you. I don't care if it's a doorknob that's broken. Um, you need a whole roof, I can do that for you. Like,
Shit, I gotta move to Texas.
yeah, it's just I just have a different approach about it, and I'm trying to always watch out for my customers' dollars. I don't want them to spend stupidly because a lot of people can sell you all kinds of stuff that you have no
Yeah.
knowledge about, and you're gonna be quick to say, "Oh yeah, well it works." That's what they are recommending, so let's do it, and it's not necessary.
Exactly, and
Absolutely.
that's what I was about to say. It's some of the stuff that they sell you onto whatever you ask for, it's pretty much not necessary. Just like
Mm-mm.
taking your car to get an oil change, and they say, "Oh, well, you need an alternator, you need a starter, you need
Right.
this, that, and the other." I'm like, "No, I just came for oil change. I don't need all the rest of that stuff." Yeah, but it'll make your car run so much smoother. I'd be like, "Yeah, but some people don't know the aspects of saying no."
You
Yeah.
know
But
what? One thing
they'll,
that really, yeah, what you're right. They're quick to say yes because he's telling me, the professional's telling me that I need it, so I must need
Mhm.
it. But that reminds me of a older woman, and I don't like when they take advantage of elderly because that's happened a lot.
Yeah.
An older lady called us. She had spent all her savings on getting a brand new AC system in her house, and then it
Mhm.
wasn't cooling, so she called us to see if we can go check it out. Whoever went and did this job for her literally took a unit and they spray painted it to make it look new. And they
Wow.
installed it and they installed it and it wasn't working. So here we
What
come in after
the
him and
junk?
we're seeing all that, and it's just like, what is she gonna do? Go after him, go to court? Like, there's a lot that gets involved. So we just helped her out. We had to make it
Yeah,
right for
see,
her because she
that's
was as
we
bad.
call that predator work. Predator
Yes,
work. I mean,
and we
and
see
you,
it. We see
all
it
the
a lot.
time.
Yeah, we see it a lot.
And people that so vulnerable, and they can get taken advantage of so quickly, and those are the people that, you know, that garners most of the business because they don't know what they need. They don't know what they actually want. But if you come in and tell them and say, okay, yeah, your AC, like for instance, your AC unit is about to go, or you need another one, and then to come in, it's heartless to me
It is.
to take somebody to take advantage of, especially if somebody who's
Mhm.
not cognizant of what's going on. I I
Absolutely.
can't help but applaud you, or give you kudos to the fact that you go in and help these type of people, because you
Oh
don't
yeah.
see a lot of that in the industry today.
No, no,
Everybody
no.
No.
everybody is gimme, 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 take, take,
Yeah.
take, and
Yeah.
it's the world we live in right now.
It
It
is. And
is.
on
It's
that
a
note
sad truth.
about new entrepreneurs, the younger or even older, whoever's getting into the business also needs to be very careful with all the scammers out there, because I can't tell you, at least once a month I get hit up on my phone asking me to go look at a house. They want a new roof, they want this, they want that, and it's probably somebody in some other part of the country. They're just trying to
Mhm.
get me to go and do this work and wire me money or whatnot, and it's all fraud.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I would also give that advice for us as people that are trying to make money and have jobs. Don't just take on anything because it sounds good. Also
right.
look into it
For sure. For sure. That's
because
sound advice
it's
right
out there.
there. That
Yeah,
is
because
sound
we
advice.
also we also deal with a lot of landlords that have properties and they rent them out, right?
Mhm.
And there's scammers out there that are grabbing those pictures and telling these vulnerable people, "Oh, come buy this house, give us this much deposit, and we'll give you the keys. Go look at the house." And it's some random person taking all these deposits.
For
Right.
sure. Yeah, that's really good advice right there. Well, everybody,
Mhm.
we want to thank Crystal very much for stopping by and hanging out with us today. We really appreciate your time. And if you ever have a chance, check out SHS. They are available on Facebook. Um, that's SHS General Contracting. If you're definitely within the Dallas area, or maybe just a little bit outside, or maybe all the way in Oklahoma, who knows? Drop your projects and reach out to them because they sound like they definitely know what they're doing. They back their work up by the quality. And Crystal, thank you so very much for hanging out with us today. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's our
All
pleasure. It's
right.
our pleasure.
Mhm.
We'll see you soon.
So yeah, but she touched on a lot of points that's very valid, and especially the part of jumping into some of these entrepreneurship programs that you got to know what you're getting yourself into. I mean, but there's a lot of people
Yeah.
that just jump straight in because they heard about, okay, it's easy to do this, that, and the other, and it's completely the opposite. You get in, you're going to have to work. There's not something that happens overnight. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
unless you got a lucky streak and you jumped into something and you just ridden in on that wave and then something just happened for you, but it doesn't happen like this generally. Not It's not typical.
It
And
doesn't. It doesn't.
most of the business that happens on the back end is because of the hard work that you put in. So rule number
Yeah.
one: don't plan on getting into anything and think it's going to be the fast life, because it never happens. Rule number two: don't try to take advantage of people just because you can. There's a lot of that stuff going on in the world today, and I can see it coming from a mile away, but a lot of people are unsuspecting of it, and the industry needs to change a little bit.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like that's just the human factor, you know. We would believe and we want to perceive that people are genuine, they're true, and they're nice. But everything is at the flip of a coin. Everything has
Yeah,
its good, everything has its bad, and unfortunately, humans are the same way. You have your good people out there, and you have people who are inherently bad. So watch out for that
yeah,
stuff. The good thing though about it is that, like, Lamont, like you said, some people can see it coming, and for those that can't, just be ready to shell out a lot of money because you're about to be taken. You're about to be taken,
yeah.
and Liam Neeson is not going to come find you and save your life. You're just going to lose.
Well, that's just in the movies.
Everybody, thank you so very much for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate your time. So sorry we had like a little technical difficulties earlier today, but we will see you again on Wednesday, where it'll be an in-house discussion. And if you have anything for us, just drop them in the comments below, and maybe we can bring up a topic that you really want to have discussed. So we'll see you on Wednesday. I'm Bob G, your web design strategist.
And I'm Lamont Brathwaite, your metric specialist. And if you ever need metrics to guide your business, to grow your business, to scale your business, please comment below.
Take care, guys.
What? This is the best outro intro ever.
Ever. Oh my
Later,
goodness.
guys.